Hola, mi gente. Welcome to another episode of Latina Mic Drop. Here we are arriving whole, we are arriving full of energy, and even if we don't feel that well, we are going to feel energized by the end of this episode. Today's episode is called The Exhaustion No One Talks About. Do you ever feel exhausted when the workload hasn't changed? Same hours, same role, same responsibilities, but somehow you are wiped. You're exhausted, you're tired. And the thing is that people normally frame it as burnout. But I've learned that's not always the case. It's not always burnout. Sometimes it's the energy it takes to watch your tone, edit your truth, downplay your instincts, leave parts of yourself at the door. Some of us are changing who we are to fit into a professional setting, to fit into a family dynamic, to fit into our spouse's expectations, to fit into our kids' expectations, to fit into something instead of just arriving and being. We're always in a level of becoming. So we are always changing and we're always evolving. And as years go by, sometimes we tend to, like they say, dim yourselves, right? You're not as yourself as you would like to be because of all the judgment, because of the criticisms, because of the way people react, because of the way they respond to you. That takes a lot of energy to always, oh, wait, let me tone it down. Oh, wait, let me lower my voice. Oh, wait, I can't say all of that. Wait, I feel something, but I can't say it. Oh, no. Today, I can't come in with my full self. I can't talk about my boyfriend. I can't talk about what I'm working on. I can't talk about being great. I can't talk about my win. I can't talk about X, Y, and Z because it makes others uncomfortable. I don't think people realize how much they do this and how much energy it takes and how wiped out you feel from doing it. So I see this all the time in high performers who learned early on that hiding equals safety. Listen, it works until it doesn't. Safety is what we are looking for. Our brains are wired. I was just listening to a YouTube video the other day, and I learned that our brains are wired, our bodies are wired to lean into safety. That's our instinct, to be safe. So when we know in a space it's not safe to be yourself, it's not safe to talk about certain things, then we tend not to talk about it. So because we're splitting ourselves, you're splitting yourself in two, that takes more energy than the work itself. Today, we're breaking this down simply. 5 things that look good, in quotation marks, 5 things that are quietly killing you, and 5 things to do if you're done paying the price. So, why hiding seems like it works? Here are the 5. Now, let's be honest. Hiding didn't come from nowhere. Number 1, it helped you survive. You learned how to read rooms, people, power. That's intelligence. I've been doing this forever. I've been reading rooms since I was born, I think. Because number 1, I grew up in a alcoholic household and there was always chaos, not to mention poverty. So you understood who had the power, who was not feeling well, who had emotional baggage that they wanted to take out on you. And also in the streets were dangerous. And so I learned how to read the street, like which road not to walk through, which street was dangerous, who was dangerous, how to look at people, not to look at people. And then when I went to work, I had to do the opposite. I had to talk to every single person. And so I learned behaviors that way too. You learn how to survive, right? In the streets, if you look somebody in the eye, they're like, what you looking at? Right? But at work, in customer service where I was working, I had to make eye contact in order to speak to them and help them and guide them into where they were going, because otherwise I would get fired if I didn't. That was like part of the standards that I needed to follow. So it's intelligence that you learn, right? So you learn how to survive. So what I was doing in the beginning as a kid and not looking at people was not helping me in my work. Here in the United States, eye contact is huge. So, number two, it protected your paycheck, especially in systems not built for you. So, safety mattered, right? So, this is what I'm talking about. You needed to earn that paycheck. I needed to earn that paycheck. If I didn't have the eye contact, if I didn't speak up, then I had no job and I had to raise three little ones very young by the age of 21. So there was no way that I wasn't not going to, right? But in reality, it was really hard. It also earned praise. So you were called professional, polished, easy to work with, right? When you're not going against the grain, people say, oh, she's agreeable, right? There are levels of agreeable. And then they want you to be as agreeable as possible, which is what we see, right? Some of us think, oh, they're brown nosing. They're trying to get brownie points with the head of the whatever, of the lead, or look at the pet, the favorite, right? So these are the kinds of things that get you praise. So that's why sometimes we do it so that we can get something in return because it is better for us. It reduced conflict. You avoided being labeled difficult, emotional, or too much, right? I always remember people saying, oh my God, you're so damn loud. Yeah, I am. Well, guess what? At the airport, that worked for me. But in other places, it doesn't. Like, you can't go into a library speaking your full voice because then they're going to say, oh my God, that person is so loud. Even on the train, when I go into the office, I ride two trains, a New Jersey Transit train, a PATH train, and once in a while I'll take a bus and sometimes I'll take the MTA. And on these trains, right, who is seen as chaotic, difficult, too much, right? It's like, oh my God, the people that are out there making noise, speaking up, speaking on their phones on speaker, using the radio. So people in the office or people in different spaces label you like you're too much, right? You're like making all this noise. You're feeling some kind of way, even if you're emotional, right? Like when people get emotional everywhere, it's like, oh my goodness, it makes people so uncomfortable. So people don't want you to have emotions in the office. So we hide them and we're judged for it. If you have emotions in the office, as much as I know that it's not weak because you're human, other people may say, oh, she doesn't have emotional intelligence. You know, that's part of leadership. To me, feelings are feelings. So that doesn't mean that I can't feel or that I'm not going to try to regulate my nervous system by crying. Some of us are just wired differently. Okay, number 5, it got you promoted at least once until the rules changed and the ceiling appeared. So, something I don't talk about often is that I got promoted 8 times. I was working for 15 years at one spot. Then I moved into working in another space. And in that space, I ended up getting promoted every year, year and a half. And I had 8 promotions until the job that I have now. So it does work to do all of those things, right? And to be fair, hiding isn't weakness. It's a survival strategy that worked for a season. And so all of that worked for me. I went, I got the degree, I learned everything, I got all the policies, I understood everything. But here's where it turns. You're exhausted even when you're winning because you're performing and self-monitoring. So it came to a point where I was not being myself. I was hiding I was being Mexican. I learned to stop saying it because I was called cheap labor. I also stopped saying that I was a mom because people were thinking that I was not reliable because I was a young mom. People were judging me for being a young mom. And they were like, oh, she's not responsible. Oh, she has no morals, all kinds of shit. And I've been with my wife forever. And hiding her and that relationship also happened because we were LGBTQ. So a lot of people don't, can't understand it, don't see it, are wondering, have more questions than answers. And it's just really not comfortable for them or for me. So I stopped. And so I didn't say all of that. So I was monitoring myself. So when people talked about, oh, what are you doing for the holidays? You brush it off and you kind of don't say anything. So then you come across as not sociable. But the reality was that I didn't feel safe talking about it. So I was hiding it. And so what happens? Number two, you second guess instincts that are actually sharp. Your gut is right, but you've been trained not to trust. So, because of those things, I was not trusting my situation, my circumstance, the people, where I was. It was very difficult. And you begin to second guess what your natural instinct is. We're going to do this. Oh, I'm going to take that. Right. And then so people start to second guess themselves and start asking a million and one questions. Number three, your voice gets quieter the higher you go, not because you lack confidence, because you've been burned. So you learn, who wants to be burned again? You don't want to be burned for this. Like, I feel like I'm still paying for raising my hand to help, which to me was helping. But in reality, now I feel like I'm being burned because it doesn't work currently. So it was working until it wasn't working. But that's the thing is like you start to like not say anything. Well, number one, people may start to exile you from the group or they begin to put you in a different position. So then when you play a different part, like you become quieter. So what do you expect people to do? Like, have you ever heard of quiet quitting? That's what happens. That's what happens to people that can't say or be who they are. Or if they do or say something, they get told, no, don't do it that way. No, this is how you're supposed to say. Well, this is what I want you to do. If this happens, this is how you should say it. That's what happens to you. You end up being, you're like, all right, well then maybe I shouldn't say anything, or maybe I'll wait until I'm told what to do. So sometimes we're creating this for people, and the people that are on the receiving end, like, this is what they feel, this is how you feel. And then because of that, you feel invisible despite high performance. So you're seen as reliable, but not powerful. You know how many freaking times people are telling me you lack influence and persuasion? I'm like, how am I lacking influence and persuasion? And I realized that what I was doing was I was hiding. I was not being my full 100% self, trying to satisfy everybody and their mother about the work that I was doing and how I was doing it. I was really looking for validation outside when I shouldn't have been. And number five, you start confusing success with self abandonment. And that's the most dangerous trait of all because you're giving up on yourself. You're abandoning pieces of you that make you who you are, and you are becoming what other people want you to become. And that's no way to live. Like, you're going to feel tired. You're going to feel exhausted from being somebody that you're not. So you're not tired of the work. You're tired of leaving yourself behind. So here are 5 ways that if you're ready to stop splitting, you can begin to do. So this isn't about blowing up your career. It's about integration, not rebellion. So number 1, name where you're editing yourself. Not everywhere, one place, one pattern. So it's always a good thing to have self-awareness and to look at where you are doing it. What is the one place that you're editing yourself? Where are you stopping? What's one pattern you continue to do? What's a behavior you're creating and editing yourself? You're creating a persona, you're creating another person. Number 2, separate safety from habit. So ask, is this still protecting me or is it just familiar? Why am I doing this? Am I doing this because it's really protecting me and it's really working? Or is it just because it's something I'm used to doing and I'm doing it automatically without even trying? I was doing automatic stuff, not saying anything about all those different identities until I learned the word code switching. When I learned what that was and what that meant, I said, damn, that's what the hell I've been doing. So when you realize it, it's a life changer, and you can really own where you are and say, oh, I've been doing that because it's been protecting me. Okay, but now, is it working? Is it worth it? Should I continue to do that? Maybe I should do things a little bit differently. Number 3, reclaim one muted strength: your directness, your emotion, your ambition, your culture. So I have embraced all of those already. So I know myself to be direct. I have a lot of emotions. I'm an emotional person. I'm sensitive. I have a lot of ambitions. Like, yes, I will continue trying until I win. I will be persistent until I get to where I'm going. And my culture, I mean, come on. I am not going to hide that I am Latina, that I am Mexican. There's no reason for me to hide it. Yeah, people say this and that. Yes, there's this whole rhetoric out there. Yes, the narrative is insane right now. But there's also good. There's also good out there. And my culture actually is what makes me me. The culture that I bring, the traditions, the different ways in which I see the world and I see how we can collaborate and unify. We have so much to offer that our culture has been teaching us and has been passed on forever. There's not only good in it, there's real greatness when you put it to work. It's just so awesome. And yes, we live in a different country than we were born in, but that's the beauty of it, that we can be who we are anywhere we are. We've just been taught to assimilate. So when you've been taught to assimilate, what happens? This is what happens. You're hiding yourself 24/7. You're hiding it to stay protected, to stay safe. Unfortunately, that's the world that we live in sometimes, where we do need to protect ourselves. Of course, we're going to be safe. We want to. And now, number 4, you're going to practice your truth with calibration. You don't need to say everything. Just stop lying to yourself. So everywhere I go, I'm not like carrying a rainbow flag with me. I'm not wearing like a grandma badge or anything like that would like automatically say it, because some places are not safe. It's still true. There are some places I can't go, or places that I won't go because of it. But you need to be able to stop lying to yourself. The hardest part for me was seriously accepting myself for who I was. I was at a point where I was even thinking I was sick. I was even at a point where I felt like I didn't belong anywhere. And that's the thing, is that like once I accepted myself and everything that I am and stop lying to myself, then I can be my true self. Stop lying to yourself. That's the biggest one right there. Number 5, here's where you gain a clear baseline. You really can't change what you haven't named. If you're an automatic and you are just going through the motions and you're just living and you don't stop and get a clear understanding of where you are not going to move forward. You're going to have the same things happen over and over and over again. Clarity changes everything. People keep saying that clarity. You need clarity in this, you need clarity in that. But it really is important. And everything we learn in evolution with time, sometimes we don't even realize. Start paying attention, start pausing, start reflecting on your actions, your behaviors. Why are you doing it? So I'm curious, what part of yourself do you find you hide the most your voice, your culture, your ambition, your emotions, I invite you to DM me at I am Miriam Simon and let me know which one it is. I will drop a resource in the comments for anyone who wants clarity. It's a short assessment that helps you pinpoint where you're still hiding and what it's costing you. Not to shame you, to give you language, awareness, and a starting point. Because you don't need to work harder. You need to stop working divided. You were never meant to succeed by disappearing. And the next level of your leadership, it doesn't require more effort. It requires more of you. Thank you for tuning into Latina Mic Drop. I will see you on the flip side. Take care.